In tonight's top stories, controversial posters around campus were taken down, prompting a letter to the student body from President Stephen Leath.
And homecoming events are taking place around campus.
I'll have your full Cyclone sports report, including news from football, tennis, soccer, and more.
And it was another nice fall day out there. Coming up, we're going to talk about a warm-up coming up in the future. We'll have all the details on that later. Newswatch starts now.
Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your night and week. Stay classy, Cyclones.
Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Paul Hadish.
And I'm Annebeth Ahrenholz. Thanks for joining us.
Reports today have surfaced about several offensive posters around the Iowa State campus. The posters referencing white heritage depicted historical messages that could evoke feelings of bias or racism. Iowa State President Stephen Leath sent out a letter to the student body addressing these posters. He also reminded students that free expression is fundamental as long as it is within the ISU ground use policy and against racial discrimination and harassment.
Going on currently in the Great Hall of the Memorial Union, Joel Stein, author of the recent Time magazine cover story, Why We're Losing the Internet to a Culture of Hate, is discussing how trolling on the internet is infecting our real-life interactions, including politics. He will also be sharing his perspective on reversing the trend of a cyber culture that is growing meaner and more threatening. Stein, a longtime journalist, has written a weekly humor column for Time since 1998, along with 14 other cover stories to date. He also contributes to the publications such as The New Yorker, GQ, Business Week, Wired, and the opinion section of the Los Angeles Times.
The 7th annual KURE Fest is taking place tonight and tomorrow here at Iowa State. Put on by alternative radio station 88.5 KURE, the multi-act concert event takes place tonight at the maintenance shop in the Memorial Union, kicking off with Maids and Grand Ave Ruckus. Tomorrow we'll see headliners Max Jury, the Maytags, and Neon Indian headline in the Great Hall. The event is free of charge and open to the public.
An hour ago, the Greek community wrapped up a 2-hour treat-filled and family-friendly trick-or-treating event on campus in the Sheeman building. All children, grades K through 5, and their families stopped by for trick-or-treating and activities including bag toss, limbo, goo making, pumpkin painting, and more. Children and parents dressed in Halloween costumes and participated in a costume contest where prizes from local businesses were awarded to the best costumes in certain categories, such as funniest, scariest, cutest, and most creative.
A little earlier than that, the community of Ames wrapped up their own trick-or-treating event. Children dressed in their costumes and went to various businesses in the Somerset area to fill their bags and buckets with goodies. The event was held from 2 to 5 p.m. with a couple hundred children showing up to the more than 20 businesses in the northern Ames area. This is the second year that it has been held, and with Somerset growing, more are expected in the following years. Just a reminder, the official citywide trick-or-treating event will take place on Monday the 31st.
With all the renovations going on with Bessie Hall, you might not know about its hidden gem. Our own Paul Hadish investigates this.
The roof of Bessie Hall may look ordinary from the outside, but inside there's over 12,000 feet of tropical paradise. Pressing the R button on the elevator in Bessie Hall will take you to the secret rooftop greenhouse. The indoor heated environment contains over 600 different species of plants that thrive there year-round. People can go to the greenhouse to walk around and observe the exotic plants, which makes for a nice winter getaway from Iowa's climate.
We come up here probably at least like once a month. I try to
once
at
a
least.
month.
It's cool though because you can learn about a lot of plants that you wouldn't otherwise see growing in Iowa's natural environment. So it's a good learning opportunity. You don't really get a chance to do that otherwise. So
I like to come up here because I'm a horticulture major and I'm just interested in plants in general. So it's cool to see the different taxonomy and how plants are related to each other and whatnot.
The greenhouse is open free to the public Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. For ISU TV, I'm Paul Hadish.
Just be courteous to the construction on the building when you go visit.
An Iowa native will be embarking on her third mission to the International Space Station. Peggy Whitston of Beaconsfield made history in 2007 as the first woman to be the commander of the space station, and will make history again as the first to have been commander twice. She is considered the most experienced female NASA astronaut, having totaled just over 376 days in space. The latest space mission is expected to last 5 months, and Whitston's crew will be conducting more than 250 research experiments. Her spacecraft will launch from Kazakhstan on November 15th.
Events this week have been leading up to the 2016 ISU homecoming game coming up Saturday morning, and tomorrow adds to the action-packed week. Students can grab beverages, treats, and enter prize drawings at the ISU Alumni Center and attend an awards ceremony at Benton Auditorium in the Sheeman Building. Afterwards, students can enjoy the homecoming celebration and pep rally held in the ISU Alumni Center from 5 to 9 in the evening. The Greek community will be showing off their lawn displays and campus decks. Towards the end of the night, there will be a pancake feed for $3 a person on Central Campus from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. with mass campaigning and fireworks at midnight. Make sure to stop by these events on campus to get pumped up for a Cyclone victory.
Iowa State's homecoming includes many traditions, but none quite as unique as Yell Like Hell. ISU TV's Brianna Campbell has more.
Happy homecoming, Iowa State! Echoes can be heard across campus as Yell Like Hell second cuts were underway this Wednesday. Joined with campaigning and food on campus, Yell Like Hell is a homecoming tradition unique to Iowa State.
I think the easiest way to describe Yell Like Hell is kind of just about the wackiest celebration you'll ever see. It's a 5.5-minute skit put on by different groupings here at Iowa State. You get to get all painted up from head to toe, usually in cardinal and gold, and put on a skit that includes different chants, the Iowa State fight song, usually a stomp, and then fills around the Iowa State homecoming theme. And it's just a crazy, like it sounds, yelling like hell while doing all their different chants, all your stomps, everything, just massive craziness. It's amazing.
The competition starts out with 14 pairings, narrowing down to 8 after first cuts, and the final 3 are chosen after second cuts.
3 will move on to finals, and they get to, I'd say the big first thing is you get to perform at the pep rally Friday night.
This year, non-Greek students were also invited to join in the jumping, yelling, stomping, and chanting that go along with the fun of Yell Like Hell.
Hell finals at the pep rally placings will be awarded on Central Campus.
After the break, we'll have more on who one of the top Black Lives Matter activists has officially endorsed for President of the United States.
And hear how authorities stirred up a Dakota Access Pipeline protest. Stay tuned, you're watching Newswatch. A man has been arrested in connection with the destruction of Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Jamie Otis was taken into custody early Thursday morning on suspicion of felony vandalism. Witnesses reported that Otis had dressed himself up as a construction worker and destroyed the star with a pickaxe early Wednesday morning. Otis told several media outlets that he intended to remove the star and auction it off to raise money for the 11 women accusing Trump of groping them, which strikes a personal note with Otis. Donald Trump received the star in 2007 for his work on the television show The Apprentice.
A top Black Lives Matter activist revealed his pick for the 2016 presidential election. DeRay McKesson is a prominent voice for the movement and voiced earlier today that he's with her, Hillary Clinton. McKesson says that this choice comes from Clinton's strong platform on racial justice and equality. He doesn't agree with all of Clinton's policies, particularly some that deal with mass incarceration of inmates. However, he was quoted as saying, "I agree with her more than I disagree with her." He was also quoted saying that Trump would lead society to grind black and brown folks even more than it already does. The endorsement follows a year's worth of meetings between Clinton and McKesson. BuzzFeed has deemed it one of the most coveted endorsements in Democratic politics.
Scientists are planning to release an army of millions of modified mosquitoes in areas of Brazil and Colombia. They say their approach is to provide protection against the mosquito-borne Zika virus. The modified mosquitoes are infected with a bug that reduces their ability to spread Zika and other viruses to humans. The $18 million project is funded by an international team of donors, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The plan is aimed to start in early 2017.
Protesters and authorities clashed today in North Dakota over the ongoing territorial issues surrounding the Dakota Access Pipeline. According to authorities, nearly at least 16 protesters have been arrested, with 100 protesters removed from camps set up on Native American tribal lands after engaging in unlawful behavior by setting up illegal roadblocks and trespassing on private property. Police used pepper spray and beanbag guns to disperse the crowd. The ongoing construction of the $3.7 billion, 1,200-mile-long pipeline has been the center of debate as protesters believe it will not only destroy sacred lands, but it would be an environmental catastrophe as well.
A manhunt is underway for an Oklahoma man who is suspected of killing 2 relatives and having a hit list that targets several others. Michael Dale Vance Jr. has been wanted since Sunday in connection to the murders and a string of shootings. Authorities say that they believe Mr. Vance filmed 2 Facebook Live videos during his run from the police. Vance has a criminal record that includes sexual abuse of a 15-year-old girl. He was last spotted early Monday morning, about 30 miles from the Texas border in western Oklahoma.
The girl from Afghanistan who is featured in one of the most iconic news photographs is currently sitting in a Pakistani jail. Green-eyed Sharbat Gula made the Afghani refugee crisis a story known worldwide when her photograph appeared on the cover of National Geographic in 1985. The Afghani refugee crisis refers to the mass migration of Afghanis to Pakistan to escape a civil war in the country in the 1980s. Now Afghanistan is attempting to make a mandatory return of refugees. Gula had illegally obtained paperwork to pose Pakistani citizen and not an Afghani refugee, leading to her imprisonment.
The Philadelphia 76ers held a team meeting that may take action after the organization canceled a national anthem performance by a singer wearing a We Matter jersey. Sevyn Streeter was told by the team that she could not perform due to her slogan on her jersey. That was minutes before she was slated to go out onto the court. In wake of the event, a member of the 76ers dance team was asked to sing instead. Streeter, who has some songwriting credits for artists such as Chris Brown and Ariana Grande under her belt, said she was very angry and upset both about being replaced and not being able to showcase her message that she said cannot be ignored.
Well, it's getting colder and colder out there, Zane. What can we expect in our weather forecast?
Well, if you thought today was cold, you are going to enjoy tomorrow because some places out there are going to be touching on 80 degrees outside. So all those homecoming activities can be pretty warm. We're going to have all the details coming up after the break. Welcome back to Newswatch. Right now we're sitting at 52 degrees here in Ames under clear skies, and the winds are light out of the southeast at 8 miles an hour right now. Pretty much the entire state of Iowa right now is mostly clear except for the partly cloudy skies being reported in Des Moines right now. Off to the north and east, they're sitting in the mid-40s out there, and then 50s in central Iowa, and still hanging on to 64 degrees out in Council Bluffs right now. We're still pretty mild for 8 o'clock at night at this hour. That's due to these southeast winds that are kind of letting this warm air flow in from the southeast. There's an area of high pressure off to the east of the state that's kind of allowing that flow to move in from the south and east. You can see on clouds and radar, the northeastern part of the state, they were cooler. That's mainly to do with these clouds that are still hanging out over there. The other parts of Iowa were clearer earlier today, and now we're starting to see that cloud cover move back in, which will help keep us a little bit warm as we move through the overnight hours. So as we look at Futurecast here, there is that high pressure, if I get out of the way for a second, off to our south and east. That's going to kind of continue to move out of the region. This warm front is going to move across the state As we move through tomorrow, that's going to allow plenty of warm air to really pump in from the south. And then as we get through tomorrow into Saturday, we're going to drag a weak cold front across the state from the northwest. That's not going to really affect our temperatures as far as really making it cold, so to speak, but it's going to bring us back down from really high temperatures to more average temperatures as we get into the earlier part of your weekend. So lows tonight across the state, mid to upper 40s across northeastern Iowa, 50s in the middle part of the state, and then mid to upper 50s in the west. And when we get into tomorrow, the heat really starts to move in. 79 in Des Moines. Keep in mind, this is the end of October, okay? So this is really 20 degrees above what we should be at for this time of the year. Tonight here in Ames, low of 50. Those clouds will move in, help keep us warmer than normal overnight, and then those winds will stay calm out of the southeast, just a light breeze. As we get into tomorrow, clouds will be in the area as we start the day, and then we'll have plenty of wind gusting from the southwest, 15 gusts, maybe up to 25, 30 miles an hour, that are going to help pump in that warm air, bring us up to a high of 79. Like I said, some places could touch 80 degrees tomorrow. So it'll be plenty warm even on Friday night for all of those homecoming activities when you're out and about. If you're headed out to the homecoming game on Saturday, Kansas State's coming to town. Kickoff at 11 a.m. It'll be 64 degrees at that hour, so it'll be a nice, comfortable temperature, not too bad. You can see that'll be a little bit of a cool down compared to where we're going to be at on Friday. And then if you're headed out tailgating, it'll be in the low 60s for that time, so it'll be a nice, comfortable day for college football. As we get to your extended forecast, there's that up high of 71 on Saturday. As we move into Sunday, a little bit of cool down to 62. Still plenty warm for this time of year. Monday, we jump back up to 79 again. We go back down on the temperature roller coaster on Tuesday with a chance of rain, and then we moderate and skies clear out on Wednesday and Thursday. Stay with us. Sports is coming up after the break.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Taylor Mankle here with your Cyclone Sports Report. We start off with tennis, as the tennis team will wrap up their fall season this weekend at the SIUE Indoor Invite. The 7-match fall season has been one of great success and growth for Iowa State as they continue to make strides, including some standout performances from last week at Colorado State, where Maddie Cancini won the event and sophomore Regina Espandola finished as runner-up. This event will be the first Iowa State will be able to play their whole roster. Matches will start on Friday and conclude on Saturday. Another team that will be concluding their regular season this weekend is the Cyclone soccer squad. The 10-6-1 Clones have shown tremendous improvement this season over last, especially on the road. They're coming off 2 impressive road wins, most recently in Cedar Falls against rival UNI, and before that, a 1-0 overtime win against number 24 Baylor in Waco. ISU will close the regular season in Lawrence against now 25th ranked Kansas Jayhawks. The weekend for the cross-country team, a big weekend for the cross-country team, as they will travel to Lubbock, Texas for the Big 12 championships. Both squads, men and women, are in similar positions entering this weekend, as both are the second highest ranked teams in the conference. The women were expected to be near this position throughout the season, while the men have been outperforming expectations the whole year. First race will start at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Volleyball bounced back from a set-1 loss against Kansas State yesterday, winning in 4. This win is the 4th in Iowa State's last 5, improving their record to 12-9, 4-5 in Big 12 play. Morgan Kurt and Samara West led the way for the Cardinal and Gold with 13 kills apiece. The defense was solid as well, with Haley Hilligus leading the way with 27 digs, and reliable Jess Shaban contributing with 12 kills and 16 digs respectively. The Clones play next on Wednesday at home against West Virginia. That game will be televised on Cyclones.tv. And lastly, football will try and bounce back after a tough loss to Texas last week as they host Kansas State for this year's homecoming. This will mark the 100th meeting between the Wildcats and Cyclones, as Iowa State is looking for their first win in last 7 tries against KSU. They're coming off a big win at home against Texas, and Iowa State is coming off a much-needed bye as head coach Matt Campbell is still in search of his first Big 12 win. Game will be at 11 a.m. and broadcast live on FSN. That's all I've got for your Cyclone Sports Report. Stay tuned as Paul and Annebeth will be back at the desk. You're watching Newswatch.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said,
Tune into the midweek roundup with me, your host Michael Morrell.
I'm Jacob Lee.
We are going to talk about all sorts of things like baseball, or even debate the fact that the Vikings are going to finish third in the NFC North this year.
They're going to win the North again this year.
Tim Weeman, host of the Sound of the Storm.
Connor Ferguson.
Hunter Smith.
Talk about all college sports and NFL, MLB, and our Storm is definitely brewing.
I'm Blake Akery, and I'm the host of Sports View.
And I'm TJ Reed.
We talk college basketball and NBA.
And all things Iowa State.
Tim Weeman.
Patrick Stanek.
Hank Zimmerman.
Tune into the weekend pregame as we warm up the sports weekend ahead, including many segments with Pick'ems and Tim's Trivia.
I'm Taylor Mankle.
I'm Mary Rominger.
I'm Andreas Haffar.
And I'm Joey Mullins.
And we talk a lot of different sports here, including
NHL and cyclone hockey,
world football,
American football,
basketball, and many other segments. Make sure to step into the Clone Zone.
I'm Michael Mainzer.
I'm Mary Rominger.
I'm Dylan Ryan.
And I'm Zach Williamson.
And this is Cyclone Talk. Listen in for live interviews and analysis from these guys.
Welcome back to Newswatch. In some lighter Halloween-related news this evening, a man was arrested on Monday in Portland, Maine for blocking traffic dressed as a tree. This man stood in the middle of downtown traffic as what he claimed to be a type of performance art. He stood covered in leaves that made it look like a very realistic-looking tree. When police were informed about this man dressed as a tree standing in the middle of an intersection downtown, they arrested him for obstructing a public way.
If you're looking to win some costume contests this weekend, take a few pointers from this Burger King in Queens that dressed as a McDonald's. They covered the Burger King sign with a sheet, cut out some eye holes, and spray painted their rival restaurant's name on it. As if that wasn't enough to make patrons laugh, they added a sign below it that read, "Just kidding, we still flame grill our burgers." Burger King has a history at poking fun with its competitor. In 2015, the company proposed the McWhopper, which was firmly rejected by McDonald's CEO.
Here at ISU TV, we will be hosting our very own election special on November 8th from 7:30 to 10. We have Taylor Mankle moderating, on-air analysts Brianna Campbell and Andreas Haffar, Trump and Clinton experts, and on-scene reporters at locations such as the Democratic and Republican headquarters in Des Moines and various events here in Ames. All of us here at ISU TV will be working to bring you the latest updates as fast as we can during our live stream during the presidential election. You can tune in online at this URL.
And that's all we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch.
Tune in next week for more news, weather, and sports. And after this, stay tuned for Ames Tonight with Laurel Feeks.
Have a good, peaceful evening, Ames.